Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to the Slowest Network, and today we're going to review Law and Order SVU season 17, episode 1. And let's get right into it. So they find a body. All right, we started with a body or a victim or something. So they find a body, but it's right near Yates' dumping ground. If you don't remember Yates, he was the one who did the killing last season. He killed the girl from Chicago PD, and it was the whole crossover, etc. And then Rollins is like, oh, I think it's another killer. And I don't know why it was Hate Rollins Day. I don't remember if something happened last season that everybody hated her so bad. But they was just so mean to her. Like really, literally just wrote her off. Benson, everybody. And I'm like, geez. And then we go to the ME, and it's just like, who is this guy? Like, who? Where is what's her name, Melinda? Like, where is she? Who is this? And then they started being mean again to Rollins. After he does the autopsy, they're like, nah, he's just playing you, Yates. Because she went to go see Yates in prison. And then he's just playing you. And then Ben's is like, oh, you're not allowed to go by yourself anymore. I'm like, really? So she's just going to get handled? Come on now. And then Yates, of course, he's like, no, it wasn't me. But then he starts giving them little details and hints and stuff. And then he eventually says it's Rudnick. But I thought they said Carl Redneck. I really thought they said Carl Redneck, not Rudnick. I was like, Redneck. Geez, y'all ain't even gonna try. Y'all ain't even gonna try and act like y'all care for this guy. And apparently he's a new one, and he's the ME, and they actually were bringing the bodies to him, and he's accusing him. And then Yates is like, oh, I didn't know he was the ME. Did he autopsy the bodies? Ooh, he's playing psychopath, so you know how they are. And Yates' girlfriend, who thinks he's innocent, whatever, she's like, yeah, he's being framed. We used to hang out with Carl back in the day. And then she showed them pictures of them, and they used to hang out back in the day. So what happens is Yates gives them a house, and he's like, oh yeah, one day I went there because they went to medical school together, whatever, and I healed his, fixed him up from some wounds or whatever. And so they go to the house, they search the house, they find a body. Turns out it was Yates' old girlfriend, but he did the autopsy. Not Yates, and I'm not Yates' old girlfriend. It was Rudnick's old girlfriend, and I ain't gonna do it. But it was Rudnick's old girlfriend, and they found, and it was the house was his aunt's house. They had to put all the pieces together. But the thing is, Rudnick threw him off because he was actually the ones doing the autopsies on the body they found initially. And the girlfriend's body, but they didn't know Rudnick was involved. So once they have Melinda come in and actually do a real autopsy, they find different clues and stuff. So eventually they bring Rudnick into this room, and they're like, hey, or Rudnick, I don't know if it's Rudnick or Rudnick. They bring Rudnick into this room. They're like, hey, everything in this room is being recorded, because eventually it was supposed to be lead into, ask him some questions. Hopefully he confessed, whatever. And then, but he called an attorney. Then they placed him under arrest, whatever. Rudnick is out on bond. His bail was $2 million, so that means he had to pay $200,000. I believe that's 10%, right? Yeah. So, I mean, he's loaded. But then they search his house, and they find wigs and stuff, and they find all of this. I think he's into drag. Like, it's not like for just fleeing. Like, he fleed in drag, but he likes drag because it's just like there's too many wigs and too many. He had wigs in different cities, wigs and dresses in different cities. Come on now. Now Yates' girlfriend, this time actually Yates' girlfriend. Her body starts popping up on the beach. And it's just like, wait, what's going on? And that's when they try and find Rudnick, they can't find him, and they never recover her thigh, like one thigh they never recovered. Oh, and the ME is like, I can't say the exact cause of death because I don't have that thigh is obviously what happened. Like the initial wound it has to be on that thigh, and so she couldn't say a cause of death, but she could say, but she was able to rule it a homicide. And then Rudnick's arraigned. Now his charges are divided, which means of course you're gonna have 3 separate trials, 3 separate juries, etc. Which means he can play a different story each trial. Then he actually takes the stand. Now murderers don't. I mean, when they're caught red-handed, yeah, like Bundy took the stand, but it's just like it's not like if they're trying to get off, they ain't gonna take the stand. But he took the stand, and but then he tried to claim self-defense and Barba did good. He was like, can't you make all this stuff up? You're an ME, like this stuff. And Barba's like, I need more information. I need more evidence. So they go over all the recordings again, and then they did. Cause pulled from the headlines, ripped from the headline. Robert Durst. Y'all remember the Jinx when he kind of snitched on himself because he forgot stuff was recording. Did he know it was recorded? I don't remember if he knew it was recorded. I think he knew it was recorded. He just he probably didn't think once he left the room, that the mic was still recording. Whatever. So, because the guy was weird, quirky, and he talked to himself. So when they left him in that room earlier, where they thought they was gonna interrogate him, they told him, hey, the room's, everything's recorded, whatever. And he kind of confessed, and then the judge is like, yeah, that's fine. And he's like, I want a new lawyer. And the judge is like, okay, but I'm be still using this tape. Now I don't know if the Robert Durst case will go like that, because I don't know if it'll go. But I mean, what jury ain't tainted by now, though? I guess good luck. Yeah, the judge is like, okay, all right, what's that supposed to mean? But they, I must say they did throw me for a loop, because at first I thought Yates' girlfriend was actually doing the murders, but when she turned up dead, I was like, but I had not put 2 and 2 together about the Robert Durst thing until I kind of got a hint when he was talking, when Carsey, what's his name, Carsey, whatever his name is, was listening to him. Because I kept saying, like, why is he listening? I thought he was gonna confess to the murder then. But dong. And then I'm like, okay, we're getting close to that, and I'm like, I don't have no more evidence. I'm like, oh, they're gonna Robert Durst this, aren't they? But I didn't know where they had got the recording. And then I forgot about and by the time, they was getting ready to say it, I was like, oh, that's where they got it from. Because I'm like, oh, this room is recorded. I'm like, okay, why is that? And I'm like, oh, Robert Durst. But it was a really good episode. Oh, last thing is Rollins being pregnant. She's pregnant in real life. And I didn't think they was gonna put it in the show. I really didn't think they was gonna put it in the show. Cause and she keeps saying it's not Nick's baby. Well, whose baby is it? Are they gonna give her a man? I doubt it. Rollins crazy. I mean, she's not crazy. I mean, she's gotten better. She's smart, and the team don't respect her just because she had a little gambling problem. I mean, I know it was a big problem, but just because she had a little gambling problem, like. But Carl Redneck, man. And then they in prison together. I don't know. Carl Redneck and Yates. Imagine if they're gonna do. Cause you remember those two convicts that escaped? Imagine they're gonna do Yates and Redneck. Imagine. You think they won't? I bet you they do. I bet you. Thank you so much for listening to this recap. I will see you guys in the next episode. Slowly.